Welcome, friends and fiends, to the Draconic Verses. I am, of course, your humble host, Ye Olde Dragon. Friends and fiends, thanks very much for stopping by on what actually is a momentous occasion. You see, ever since I started the Draconic Verses, almost 6 years ago now, well, among the reviews that I've done, I've had to wait for them to come out before I could do the review. I never got to do a pre-release review, and I always wanted to. Well, that day is finally here. That's right, I am going to be doing a pre-release review of a Blu-ray. A pre-release review. Finally, after 6 years, I'm finally getting to do it. Thanks to the good people at Warner Archives, who sent me a copy of From Hell It Came, the greatest walking tree monster movie ever made. Yeah, I know, the only one. At any rate, thank you very much, Warner Archives, for sending me that and making my first pre-release review possible. Yeah, I'm going to milk that for all it's worth. So, we're talking about From Hell It Came. Now, From Hell It Came is a fun movie. It's in the so bad it's hysterical category. I mean, how this movie didn't show up on MST3K, I do not know. It's a great movie to have in your library if you are a fan of cheesy movies. And like I've said, this is one of my favorite cheesy movies of all time. And I loves me some cinema du fromage, I tell you. At any rate, add this to your library if you're a fan of cheesy movies, of cheesy monsters. If you like MST3K type movies, by all means, grab this and watch it with your friends at a party. It's a great party movie, especially after you've had a few nips at the old bottle there, so to speak. And you can get it next Tuesday, April 25th, 2017, is the first day that it's available to order. And you can order it directly from Warner Archives, and you can get it through Amazon and one or two other outlets that will have it available online. That's next Tuesday, April 25th. Okay? So, talking about the movie a little bit now. It was released in 1957 by Allied Artists. It was directed by Dan Milner, and it was produced and directed by his brother Jack. Now, From Hell It Came is the second film that was produced by the Milner brothers. It was also the last. What a surprise! It starred Todd Andrews and Tina Carver and introduced Linda Watkins. I say that in that fashion because generally when you get an introducing credit, it's for some ingenue, some shy demure thing making her screen debut. No offense to Linda Watkins, but she's got to be the world's oldest ingenue at the time. The only thing I can think of is that maybe one of the Milners owed her money. Or she put some of her own money into this movie. She also can't make up her mind if she's Australian or British in this movie. She plays Mrs. Kilgore, the owner of the multi-widowed owner of the local trading post on this tropical island. It also stars Greg Palmer. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it is because Mr. Palmer shared the role of the Gill Man in The Creature from the Black Lagoon movies. Rico Browning did the majority of the swimming scenes, and Greg Palmer did most of the land scenes. You know, carrying around the women off screaming, and generally killing and mauling just about everybody else in the movies. Why did you have to attack Whit Bissell, man? What did he ever do to you? Anyway, let me show you a picture of the real star of the movie here, though, is the Tabunga, the tree monster itself. Now, Greg Palmer plays Chemo, the young tribal chief who is unjustly murdered, who is unjustly executed for the murder of his father. He was framed by his father's rival and the tribe's witch doctor and his own wife. So Chemo vows to come back from the depths of hell and avenge himself on those who have betrayed him. Now, the fun thing is that Greg Palmer plays Chemo, and then he comes back later in the movie as the Tabunga inside the costume. So he gets to play the full transition. He's not just in the rubber suit the whole movie. He gets to do the whole ball of wax there. So good for him. Now, the thing is that this has happened in tribal lore once or twice before, that somebody unjustly executed, and when they're buried in a certain way, comes back as a tree and wreaks havoc on the village. You'd think they would stop unjustly executing people and burying them in the similar fashion. I mean, they're asking for trouble. Go figure. In any event, also on the island are a bunch of American scientists that are there to help the natives who are victims of radioactive fallout from nuclear testing. It was supposed to be far enough away from the island so that it wouldn't affect them, but a storm blew the fallout right in their faces. So the American scientists are there. There is a budding romance subplot. The villagers, most of the villagers don't like the Americans. They try to kill them on a few times. So there's all sorts of subterfuge and chicanery going on. And I'll leave the rest, as usual, for you to discover on your own. And you should. It's a fun movie. Get it and add it to your library. Okay, so now it's enough about the movie for now. Oh, there is one more thing I'd like to mention, and that is the Tabunga itself. Now, it's a fun-looking critter, ain't it? Now, it was created by Paul Blaisdell, who was a master at creating some amazing-looking monster suits for some of the cheapest sci-fi movies of the 1950s. This is the man who gave us the she-creature. This is the man that gave us the Saucermen in Invasion of the Saucermen. He designed the mutant monster from The Day the World Ended, as well as It, in It, the Terror from Beyond Space, which served as the inspiration for Alien. And Blaisdell just made some great-looking critters. He really did. Now, the weird thing is almost all of them have some kind of facial hair or simulated facial hair. I mean, look at the Tabunga. He has what looks like a bunch of roots making up a beard. And they all had it. The she-creature and It each had like little whiskers, like catfish whiskers sticking out of their faces. And even the Saucermen had the little like lettuce leaf mustaches. So there was, for some reason, all of his critters had some kind of facial hair or appendages simulating hair. So it's just, I guess that was like his signature for it. But it's a fun movie. It's a fun critter. It really is. So let's talk about the Blu-ray now. Okay. So just to remind you of my criteria for a good release, I look at first the packaging. You know I'm a stickler for good packaging design. I look at the audio and video quality, of course, and also whether or not the release has special features, be it background stories, trailers, what have you. Okay, so let's start off with the package, since it's right there. As you can see, it looks pretty much that they used the original poster art, and that's always a plus in my book. This is an upgrade from the design for the DVD that Warner Archives released of From Hell It Came. That was just a black and white picture of the Tabunga with the logo From Hell It Came, and it was on the generic black and blue Warner Archives background. The back of the box was unremarkable as well. It was just the regular, like, midnight blue background with the text on it and a single screen capture. So they have improved on the back as well. You can see that they have this is actually a publicity still from the movie. So they're using the marketing materials to give the package a nice cohesive look, and I support that wholeheartedly. So they colorized it here to give it a little bit more of a pop poster look. So and it gave it a nice shock of color, so this way it really stands out. It'll make a nice addition on your shelf. It really will. The disc itself too is also an upgrade. Now, generally, a lot of the basic Warner Archives movie on demands had just a plain black disc with the logo from the movie. And this got updated as well. You can see right here that it's a close-up of the Tobunga. And so they kept the theme going throughout, which is a very good thing, and aces in my book. Okay, now as for the video and the audio. Audio is very nice, crisp, and clear. You can hear all the nice background sounds at a proper volume. The speaking voices are nice and clear too. The picture is 1080p HD. It will fit your widescreen TV perfectly. It looks to be in the proper aspect ratio. So we're good with that. We're good with the audio and video. Although there is one part I wish they didn't have so good on the audio. Tina Carver, the young lady that plays the lead female scientist in this, the romantic leading lady, when she is captured by the Tobunga, she lets out this horrified scream. And it ain't a pretty one. I mean, most of the times they bring somebody in to dub in a shrill, high-pitched scream of terror. You know, like along the lines of like Fay Wray meeting King Kong. I wish they had done that with Tina Carver. Because when she gets grabbed, she lets out this bellow that's like 3 octaves lower than her voice. I mean, she's a lovely young lady, and she has a beautiful speaking voice. She speaks with some poise, even though her acting skills are a little bit in question. But she lets out this bellow like 3 octaves lower than her voice, and it sounds like somebody has just shot an elk in the neck. Like, ah! If I was the Tobunga, I would have dropped this chick as soon as she screamed, and I would have just thrown myself into the quicksand. End of story. End of movie. But yeah, wow. So I wish the audio wasn't all that good for her screams. Okay, so finally, criteria 3, the special features. Well, unfortunately, this is one of those times when the special features is fairly lacking. The menu screen itself is a screen capture from the film. It's pretty close to the publicity still that they used for the back of the box. And on it you have the 3 buttons. You have play the movie, subtitles on or off, which is always a nice little plus. And it has the trailer. Now, so it has the trailer. The trailer is a nice, crisp print of the trailer. So that's good, because it's hard to find trailers for old sci-fi movies that look good. There is one weird thing about the trailer. And now this is not Warner Archives' fault. This is the fault of Allied Artists, the original distributor. In their marketing department, somebody got their wires crossed. Because the monster is called the Tobunga. You hear him called the Tobunga throughout the movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they even mention it when the characters in the trailer are talking about the monster. But for some reason, the narrator of the trailer calls it the Baranga. And on a few times. And it's very confusing. You see, Baranga is actually the name of the witch doctor the villain of the movie. So somebody in the marketing department at Allied Artists back in 1957 mixed up the name of the villain and the monster. So it's just a weird goof up on their end, but it's something that I wanted to point out to you. Okay, so we have our three criteria. Now, I should also point out that generally, well, Warner Archives, when they started up the movie on demand service, it was meant to bring smaller releases to fans and collectors that wanted titles that were never going to see the light of day as a mass market release. Plain and simple. And because it's not a mass market release, they don't generally have any special features. They're not going to produce any brand new ones for these titles. I know, but some of you are saying, well, wait a minute, Valley of Gwangi had all these special features on it. That's because Valley of Gwangi was reproduced from a previous mass market release by Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers had the featurette with Ray Harryhausen in it. Warner Brothers had the trailer and the Easter egg. And but they don't have that available for From Hell It Came. From Hell It Came was only produced as a made-on-demand DVD from Warner Archives. So there are no other special features that were produced for it. It's the same way that, like in other ones that I've reviewed, like Seven Faces of Dr. Lao, Tom Thumb, that they had special features built into them because the mass market versions had those features and they were transferred over. So that's that. I mean, I can't fault Warner Archives for there being no special features, but you know, I am generally disappointed in it. Okay, so for my very first pre-release rating, I told you I was going to milk this. For my very first pre-release review rating of From Hell It Came from Warner Archives, I'm going to be giving, hello Fred, 1, 2, 3 draconic thumbs up. And that is primarily because of the fact that they went ahead and upgraded the Blu-ray packaging design. So, well done. Okay, so Friends and Fiends, that will wrap it up for this pre-release review one last time. Warner Archives, thank you so much for sending me From Hell It Came. Once again, Friends and Fiends, that will be coming out next Tuesday, April 25th. That's when you can start ordering it. It's when it will start shipping. And you can get it from Warner Archives' direct website. You can get it through Amazon, as well as a few other outlets that are offering it online. So, Friends and Fiends, by all means, remember to tune in to Draconic Verses on Twitter. That's where you can follow me and you can get all the information on my videos and my blog posts, as well as information from my Facebook page. And I will be posting the videos on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And Friends and Fiends, once again, I implore you, please do me a huge favor. Like the videos. Thank you so much for all the views already on there. But it has to keep going. I can't do this without you. So by all means, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Facebook page, and follow me at Draconic Verses. Okay, so Friends and Fiends, that will do it for me for now. I will return soon with my review of the Warner Archives Blu-ray release for World Without End. See you in the future. Close Channel D.